Every single day you pour this down the drain, and every single day your plants are starving for exactly what you're throwing away. I'm talking about rice water, banana peel water, and one more ingredient that's sitting in your kitchen right now that costs you absolutely nothing. But here's what nobody tells you. These three liquids, combined in the right way and applied at the right time, trigger a biological reaction inside your plant that doubles the number of fruits it produces. Not my words, researchers at Kasetsart University in Thailand documented this exact effect on tomato and pepper plants. And in the next 12 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to make it, how to use it, and most importantly, the one mistake that makes this completely useless. Stay until the end, because that mistake almost everyone makes, and it's the reason most people try this and see zero results. Let me tell you about something that happened to me last summer. I had two identical tomato plants, same pot size, same soil, same sunlight, same seeds from the same packet. One of them was producing tomatoes like crazy, big, heavy clusters, more than I could eat. The other one, barely anything, a few small fruits, leaves starting to yellow at the edges. I was confused. Same conditions, same care, same everything. Then I realized I had been pouring my leftover rice water on one of them by accident, not on purpose, just because it was convenient. That was the only difference. So I started paying attention. I started documenting. I ran this for 30 days with 5 different plants. And what happened at the end of those 30 days, I'm going to show you in just a few minutes. But first, let me explain why this works, because once you understand the science, you'll never throw this stuff away again. When you cook rice, the water absorbs something very specific: starch, B vitamins, especially B1, B2, and B6, and trace minerals including potassium, phosphorus, and zinc. Now here's the thing about phosphorus. Phosphorus is the key nutrient for fruit and flower production. When a plant has enough phosphorus available at the root level, it shifts energy from growing leaves to producing flowers and then fruit. Most commercial fertilizer give you nitrogen, which grows big green leaves, but what you actually want when you're growing food is phosphorus and potassium. That's what your store-bought fertilizer is missing. Rice water delivers a bioavailable, meaning immediately usable, dose of both. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The B vitamins in rice water don't just feed the plant directly, they feed the soil microbiome, the billions of beneficial bacteria and fungi living in your soil that break down nutrients and deliver them to the roots. When those microbes are happy and well fed, your plant absorbs nutrients up to 3 times more efficiently. That's why rice water isn't just fertilizer, it's a soil activator. Now let me tell you about the second ingredient, the banana peel. Banana peels are one of the highest natural sources of potassium available to home gardeners. Potassium controls water movement inside the plant. It regulates the opening and closing of tiny pores called stomata on the leaves, and most importantly, it's directly responsible for fruit size and fruit quality. Plants deficient in potassium produce small, pale, flavorless fruit. Plants with high potassium levels produce large, dense, sweet fruit. To extract the potassium from banana peels, you don't need to do anything complicated. You take 3 banana peels, put them in 1 liter of water, let them soak for 48 hours at room temperature. The water will turn a light golden brown color. That's the potassium leaching out into the water. That's your banana peel tea. Now the third ingredient is something most people have never thought to use on plants. It's milk. Not fresh milk, leftover milk, the last bit in the carton that's slightly sour. Slightly fermented milk contains a specific strain of bacteria, lactobacillus, that is one of the most beneficial organisms you can introduce into garden soil. Lactobacillus breaks down organic matter rapidly, releases nitrogen and calcium, and suppresses harmful root pathogens, fungal diseases that silently kill your plants from underground. In Korean natural farming, a technique that's been used for decades across Asia, lactobacillus-rich liquid is one of the foundational inputs. Serious growers pay good money for commercial lactobacillus products. You have it sitting in your fridge right now. Now here's how you combine these three into one powerful liquid feed. You will need 1 cup of cooled rice water from white rice works best, not instant rice, and make sure it is not salted. Half a cup of banana peel tea, the liquid from your 48-hour soak, 2 tablespoons of sour or slightly fermented milk, and 1 liter of plain water to dilute. Mix all of this together in a container, stir gently for about 30 seconds. The color will be a pale golden brown. It should smell slightly earthy, slightly sour. That's normal. That's the live biology you want. Do not add more milk thinking more is better. Too much lactobacillus too fast can throw off the soil pH and actually shock the plant. 2 tablespoons per liter is the correct ratio. And here's the mistake I mentioned at the beginning, the one almost everyone makes. Are you ready? Most people make this liquid and pour it on dry soil. That is the single biggest mistake you can make. When soil is dry, it repels liquid at first. The water runs along the edges of the pot, down the sides, and drains out the bottom without ever reaching the root zone in the center. Your liquid feed never actually touches the roots. You've wasted your mix, and you wonder why you're seeing no results. The correct technique is this. Water your plants with plain water first. Let it absorb for 5 minutes. Then apply your liquid feed. When the soil is already slightly moist, it acts like a sponge. The liquid feed is pulled inward, directly to the roots, where the phosphorus, potassium, and lactobacillus can actually do their job. This one change, watering first, feeding second, will double your results, I promise you. Now let me walk you through exactly how and when to apply this. Frequency, once every 10 days. Not every day, not every week, every 10 days. Over-application of organic liquid feeds causes salt buildup in the soil. Once every 10 days gives the soil microbiome time to process the nutrients and prepare for the next application. Timing, apply in the early morning or late evening, never in the middle of the day when the sun is strongest. Heat causes the beneficial bacteria in the mix to die before they reach the soil. Quantity, for a pot that's 20 to 30 centimeters in diameter, use 200 to 300 milliliters per application. For in-ground plants, 500 milliliters per plant. Where to pour, aim for the drip line, the outer edge of the plant's canopy directly above where the feeder roots are most active, not directly against the stem, not just in the center of the pot. What to expect in the first 10 days, you will likely see nothing dramatic. The work is happening underground. The soil microbiome is being rebuilt. The roots are expanding. What to expect between day 10 and day 30, new leaf growth will be noticeably darker green. Flower buds will begin forming more rapidly. What to expect between day 20 and day 30, this is where the visible results appear. More flowers, more fruit set, and noticeably larger fruit compared to untreated plants. So let me tell you exactly what happened in my 30-day test. I ran this on 5 different plant types: tomatoes, bell peppers, cucumbers, chili plants, and strawberries. Every plant had an identical untreated control. Same pot, same soil, same light, same plain water. At day 30, I counted the fruits on each plant and compared. Tomatoes, the treated plant had 34 fruits. The control had 19. That's 79% more fruit. Bell peppers, treated, had 11 peppers actively developing. Control had 6. Cucumbers, treated, produced its first fruit 8 days earlier than the control. Chili plants, treated, produced visibly larger, thicker-walled fruit. Strawberries, this one surprised me the most. The treated plant had runners developing, side shoots that will become new plants, while the control had none. Not one of these plants received anything other than this 50-cent liquid feed and plain water. No commercial fertilizer, no grow lights, no special soil amendments. Just the kitchen waste you throw away every day. Now let me answer the questions I know you're already thinking. Does this work on flowering plants, not just edible plants? Yes, potassium and phosphorus drive flowering in all plants, not just edible ones. Your roses, your orchids, your jasmine, they'll all respond to this feed. You may see denser, more frequent blooms. Can I store this liquid feed? Yes, but only for up to 3 days in the refrigerator. After that, the bacteria begin to produce compounds that can be harmful to plant roots. Make a fresh batch every 3 days maximum. What if I don't have banana peels? You can substitute with water that you've boiled potatoes in. Potato water contains high levels of potassium as well. Or use the water from cooking lentils or chickpeas, which is rich in phosphorus. What if my milk isn't sour yet? Add half a teaspoon of plain yogurt instead. Yogurt contains active lactobacillus cultures that serve the same purpose. Does this work for plants in the ground, not just pots? Absolutely. In-ground plants actually respond even more dramatically because they have access to a larger soil microbiome network. Apply 500 milliliters to 1 liter per plant. Here's what I want you to take away from this video. The most powerful plant feeds in the world are not in expensive bottles at the garden. They're in your kitchen. They're in your compost. They're in the things you throw away without a second thought. The difference between a plant that barely survives and a plant that overproduces is often just information. Now you have that information. So the next time you cook rice, save the water. The next time you eat a banana, soak the peel. The next time your milk starts to turn, don't pour it down the drain. In 30 days, your plants will show you results that'll make you question every expensive fertilizer you've ever bought. If you want to see the next experiment, I'm currently testing whether fermented banana peel water alone, without the rice water or milk, can match these results. That video is almost ready. Hit subscribe so you don't miss it, and drop a comment below. Tell me which plant you're going to test this on first. I read every comment and I'll reply to as many as I can. See you in the next one.